comes out of poverty, right? Is it not beneficial for the whole economy? And if the person becomes a better worker, will this not contribute in terms of higher productivity as well as the higher productivity?
एक्सीडेंट हुआ है क्या? अरे बाप रे बाप,
good consumption of which will not provide benefit to only the consumer but to the non-consumer.
पूरा एयर बैग खुला हुआ
These
है.
are called as positive externalities. And always remember, the merit goods are associated with positive externalities. So one example or another example of a merit good is healthcare. So healthcare is a merit good. And when this is such an important merit good, the provision or to provide these kind of services, the burden should fall solely on the government. We should not privatize it.
बाप रे बाप, क्या एक्सीडेंट
We should
हुआ
not privatize it. It should be provided by the government. What is the logic behind it? The logic is, once the hospital is constructed by the private sector, once this particular school, college and hospital, that is college along with the hospital, will be constructed by the private sector, no doubt there will be certain conditions applicable on hospital. Generally these kind of hospitals which are developed under the PPP, the government will impose conditions. What kind of conditions? If the government hospitals or government primary healthcare centers etc., they will send a patient to this particular hospital, now free care should be provided by the hospital. And under the various initiatives of the government of India, where health cards have been issued, insurance has been provided, these hospitals should provide the services to these beneficiaries. Of course, as conditions are there, but the concern is, if this hospital, instead of being operated by the private sector, was completely operated by the government, then all the services, not just the limited services, all the services would be provided free of cost to the beneficiaries. Correct? All the services. Anybody could walk into this hospital, getting treatment by the government doctors, etc. So that is the argument here. It's a very important merit good. We should not privatize it. And not just this, what is the guarantee that this particular private sector will provide? Let's say, according to the guidelines right now, 70% of the beds have to be provided right for free treatment and remaining 30% for private. That is basically the charges which will be imposed by the private sector hospital owners. Argument is, who is there to ensure that 70% of the beds will be reserved only for the free treatment? And there is no guarantee. So what if they basically game the system, they manipulate the system in such a way that they will corroborate or they will basically collaborate, pay certain commissions, pay certain charges, etc. And the one who is supposed to inspect will give a clearance stating that all the guidelines are being implemented correctly. That is another concern. And another concern in the context of privatizing healthcare here is, the colleges will be there, and in these hospitals or these particular medical colleges, what if this private sector operator will collect a very high capitation fees? Will collect a very high capitation fees. And lot of people are ready in India to get a medical seat even though they are paying very high capitation fees. And the problem with this is, if let's say the student will pay very high capitation fees, they will get a degree. And because now they have paid very high amount of capitation fees, they would want to get a job where the payment or the salaries for them is very high. And in case of these kind of, let's say, people who want, or the doctors who want to earn very high amount of salaries, lot of these do not stay in India. Rather, they will shift abroad. They will simply shift abroad. They will go to other developed countries. And this will obviously lead to brain drain.
किसी को यहाँ पे मौत का फिक्र नहीं है, डरते ही नहीं. मौत बहुत छोटा चीज लगता है इनको.
We need a lot of healthcare service providers. We require human resources in the healthcare service providers. And in this particular context, another concern which has been raised in the article is, why are we focused on district level hospitals? Why are we trying to privatize at the district level? Why can't we simply focus on, let's say, the primary healthcare centers? Why are we not focusing on the secondary healthcare centers at the lowest level, that is at the village level? Because if you can provide proper treatment,
चलो guys, end करते हैं.
if you can provide